Hey guys, so vegan Cheetah Charles just put out a video a couple days ago called Freelee Calls My Probation, where apparently Freelee called his probation officer and tried to get him arrested or something. I don't know. That's not really what I want to talk about here. What I want to talk about is the latter half of Vegan Cheetah's video, where he talks about vegan activism on YouTube, or as he sees it, supposed vegan activism. And I think in the video, I think he's partly right and partly wrong. I also bring up SuperMeat and just in vitro meat in general, just very briefly because Charles brings it up in his video and just completely misunderstands why vegans like Freelee or myself would be interested in promoting something like SuperMeat, justifying bad behavior for the animals. So Vegan Cheetah's main point in this video, and the one that I most agree with, is that the vegan YouTubers who claim that everything they do is activism, they use this as an excuse to justify anything they do, including really bad behavior, because, hey, it's for the animals.
The problem with it's for the animals, it puts them on a pedestal, and it's a way for them to use that as almost a weapon to justify each and every behavior, whether it be good or bad, here on YouTube or off of YouTube.
Freelee's recent copyright infringement scandal, she has so many, it's hard to keep track, right? But the one involving the Get Upset girls, Get Upset, is very likely an example of this. So she used one of their videos in its entirety in one of her videos without even bothering to credit them. And instead of just apologizing for what she did, she just doubled down and, called them fake vegans and not real activists. And this isn't new for Freelee, nor is it new for Durianrider, who of course involved himself in this whole thing because he can't help himself, I guess. Whenever they are criticized for bad behavior, they respond by, referencing how popular they are, especially Durianrider does this, and how many people they've supposedly inspired to go vegan, and by calling the people who criticize them fake vegans and shills and not real activists. If you think that anything you do is for the animals, is helping animals, you are more likely to behave like this, like Freelee and Durianrider. You are more likely to dismiss any and all criticism that you receive, criticism of your approach, and even, to view people who criticize you as the enemy, as fake vegans, not real activists, shills for the meat and dairy industry, whatever. That's not to say that I believe that considering and portraying oneself as a vegan activist here on YouTube or anywhere else, that it's inherently bad, as, it seems that Vegan Cheetah, that Charles thinks this way. I consider myself a vegan activist. However, I do think that we need to be careful about what we say and do. If we really do care about the animals like we claim to, then obviously we should care about our activism and whether or not it's effective, whether or not it's actually helping the animals. As I talked about in my PewDiePie video, which is very weird that I have a PewDiePie video, but many vegan activists, they don't seem to put much effort into their approach, into figuring out whether or not their approach is actually effective. I think it's because they are ultimately promoting veganism that they just assume that whatever they do must be good for the animals. That's a problem. Justifying bad behavior for entertainment. So I agree with Vegan Cheetah when it comes to justifying, bad behavior. However, I think it goes both ways. Those vegans who say, I'm a vegan activist, they may run the risk of justifying, bad behavior, doing some shady shit in the name of activism. But what about the ones who say, I am not a vegan activist, like Vegan Cheetah? Does he also run the risk of doing some shady shit because, hey, he's not an activist, he's just an entertainer? So from what I've seen of the Vegan Cheetah, of his channel, it seems to be mostly innocuous stuff, like when he speculated about the father of my child, fetus, I guess. Like, that's silly shit, right? And then, sometimes he does, I think, really important stuff, more serious stuff, talking about, important issues regarding really popular vegan YouTubers and some not so great things that they do, like the video that I'm responding to right now. And then there are times when I think he crosses the line. The recent incident with Nikocado, Avocado, I believe. I'm going to call him Nick. I assume his name is Nick. I don't really know. But I think this is a good example of this. So long story short, if you don't know, Vegan Cheetah made a video sharing a kind of controversial comment that Nick had posted on another vegan YouTuber's channel. And during Vegan Cheetah's video talking about the comment, he made fun of the way that Nick looks. And then Nick responded in a video by saying that, yeah, he shouldn't have posted that comment on the other vegan YouTuber's channel, but also that, Vegan Cheetah's comments making fun of the way that he looks, it really hurt his feelings, and that, Vegan Cheetah's video, it led to a bunch of harassment from followers of Vegan Cheetah, people coming from Vegan Cheetah's video, going to Nick's channel, and just leaving really, really toxic, terrible stuff. So Charles, Vegan Cheetah, he responded in the first part of this video, actually, that I am currently responding to. It's getting a little confusing, I know. But he responded by admitting that what his followers did wasn't okay and that he doesn't condone people going over to other, YouTubers' channels and harassing them.
I do not condone any of that behavior. I've never sent anybody over to Nikocado or anybody else's YouTube channel to go and harass them. I don't condone that, and I'm actually ashamed to say that any of my viewers would think that that would be an appropriate thing to do.
And that's all good, but then the other part of that, he basically just sounds like Durianrider. Without actually saying the words harden the fuck up, Vegan Cheetah essentially tells Nick to harden the fuck up.
That's not my problem. You were bullied in school. We're not in high school. We're on YouTube. If you can't handle trolls in your own comment section, close your channel, man.
Which, as Nick points out in a follow-up response, another response video, is pretty interesting considering that Charles has actually criticized Durianrider in the past for doing that, for just telling people to harden the fuck up. Charles also accuses Nick of just making these response videos, for views, just, for the drama.
Nick knows exactly what he's doing. He loves this. You think he doesn't love this shit? He loves having an excuse to get on camera and be like, oh my god, Vegan Cheetah's bullying me, and oh my god, I'm gonna play the gay card now.
This is something, obviously, he can't possibly know. He cannot climb inside of Nick's head and know, what his motives are. And finally, the possibly the most Durianrider-ish part, he basically tells Nick to be grateful because, look, Vegan Cheetah's making these videos, and by calling out Nick and naming him, he's promoting him, right?
The fact that I was talking about you and even promoting you on my channels, man, it's just you're kind of taking this thing way too seriously.
This sounds almost exactly like Harley in a recent video, a response kind of to Vegan Gains, who did a was criticizing Harley in a video where Harley is basically upset that Richard, that Vegan Gains, isn't more grateful for all of the supposed success that Durianrider has helped him achieve. Could it be that Charles is more likely to toe the line, even to hurt people's feelings, because he's not an activist, he's just an entertainer? Could it be that he is less willing to apologize for doing these things because he's not an activist, he's just looking to make money and have some fun? One can only speculate. Activism is not altruism. Charles goes on to say that we should be suspicious of any vegan YouTuber who is claiming to, make videos, sell ebooks, use Patreon, whatever, claiming that they're doing these things for the animals, because really, we're all just in it for the views and the money.
People can deny it all they want, but every single person that's putting out videos, putting out content, wants more viewers, wants more likes, wants more support, and maybe most importantly, wants to make more money.
Yes, anyone posting publicly to YouTube wants views, and yes, anyone monetizing these videos obviously wants money. And yes, anyone who is supporting these people and thinks that it is effective activism should think really hard about whether or not it actually is. People like that vegan couple who claim that supporting them on Patreon somehow is helping animals. Or Durianrider, who claims that supporting him on Patreon is somehow spreading the vegan message because he'll use the money he gives you to buy other vegans new helmets and better brakes for their bikes. But this does not mean that making money and activism are mutually exclusive. This is something that I talked about a while ago in my video response to kind of a critique of vegan YouTubers being really, really harsh on Blogilates. And one of the common critiques was that, oh, she doesn't really care about helping people get healthy and fit. She only cares about making money. First, how can anyone know that? No one can know Cassie's motives except for Cassie. And second, why can't it be both? Why can't Cassie both want to make money and want to help people get healthy and fit? In the same vein, why can't a vegan YouTuber want to make money and want to help reduce animal suffering? And if anything, the former only encourages the latter. Making money only encourages more vegan activism. As I've said before, this channel is activism. It's not altruism. I make money doing this to support myself and to support my family. Honestly, without that incentive, I probably would not make videos. I certainly wouldn't make as many as I do, which is kind of funny considering how infrequently I already post. Yeah, it'd be really tempting to just give some of the money I make, some of my income, to Mercy for Animals, to effective animal charities, and in vitro meat research, and call it a day, and that would be it. That would be my activism. Although, to be fair, this could just be like pregnancy fatigue talking. I do remember a time long, long ago, several months ago, when I did enjoy making videos, but today not so much. I mostly just want to take baths and sleep. My point is that yes, making money as a vegan YouTuber is potentially concerning. Just like the vegan YouTuber who believes everything they do is activism, is for the animals, may be at risk of justifying bad behavior, the vegan YouTuber who is making money may be enticed into prioritizing quantity over quality, views over, good content and effective activism. But making money as a vegan YouTuber is not inherently problematic. Does vegan activism make a difference? Vegan Cheetah makes some comments regarding vegan activism on YouTube in general, and this is where our views completely diverge. He thinks that because the meat and dairy industries are so powerful that it is ridiculous to think that vegan YouTubers are actually making a difference.
The meat and dairy industry is some of the most powerful entities in this entire world. You really think that what we're doing in our small little niche on YouTube is actually making a difference?
But I would argue that, vegan YouTubers like myself, that we're not trying to influence the meat and dairy industries, at least not directly. We're trying to influence individuals. We're trying to convince consumers that what they're purchasing is unethical and trying to encourage them to make better choices. Of course, by influencing individuals, we can change industries. The only reason animal agriculture is as powerful as it is, aside from strong ties to government, unfortunately, is because of us. Without our money, they cannot exist. SuperMeat. Okay, so this is where I talk about SuperMeat just really, really quickly, and cultured meat, and then I'll wrap up with the activism stuff. So again, Vegan Cheetah brings this up. He thinks that it is ridiculous that people like Freelee who don't eat meat are promoting eating in vitro meat.
Why the hell would SuperMeat have vegans with a vegan plant-based audience promote meat?
I really have to wonder whether Charles is being intentionally obtuse here, since it's pretty obvious why vegans would be in favor of in vitro meat. It significantly reduces animal suffering with the potential of eliminating it completely. Now, in terms of SuperMeat, I do want to comment on that briefly, just my thoughts on the campaign, the crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo. While I am excited about the potential that in vitro meat, that cultured meat has to reduce animal suffering, I am a little bit skeptical with regard to SuperMeat specifically. SuperMeat has no prototype yet, and for me personally, I have never and I would never give money to a crowdfunding campaign that did not at least have that, really no matter what the product was. The good news is that there are other ways to support in vitro meat research. Personally, I would give money to New Harvest. They are a nonprofit that funds cellular agriculture, and really, really cool, they are currently working to create open sourced starter cultures. A researcher will simply have to order the starter culture from a tissue or cell bank in order to work on cultured meat. Without this, researchers are forced to A, visit a slaughterhouse and spend months creating their own starter cultures, or B, pay someone else to do that for a lot of money. By making the basic tools of cultured meat research freely accessible, New Harvest is radically lowering the barrier to entry for cultured meat research. So in conclusion, I do believe that vegan activism on YouTube is a good thing, is potentially a good thing. But there are certain temptations, namely views and money, that can make it difficult for us to be objective when it comes to, analyzing our own approach, whether or not what we're doing is actually effective, is actually helping animals. It's kind of like the industries versus individual, thing that I talked about earlier. The meat and dairy industries are incentivized to keep doing what they're doing, and so are vegan YouTubers. Someone like Freelee, who makes a lot of money off of controversy, doing really, really controversial videos, is less likely to change her approach, to change her style, even if she comes to the conclusion that, her approach really isn't the best. And the same goes for me and any other YouTuber, not to just pick on Freelee here. The reason response videos are so popular, not just among vegan YouTubers, but all YouTubers, is because they get more views and they make more money. A video like this one titled "The Vegan Cheetah is Wrong About Vegan Activism" is going to be way more popular than my thoughts on vegan activism, or "Some vegans are wrong about vegan activism." Now, as I've said in a past video, I don't agree with seemingly many people who think that response videos are just and they're just inherently drama and terrible. I actually think they can be really effective. I think they can be effective activism. Vegans criticizing Freelee and other militant vegans for the stupid shit that they say in videos is really great, because again, if they do a response videos are more popular, they get more views, which means it's more likely that non-vegans are going to watch these videos, which means that it's more likely that non-vegans are going to be exposed to more normal, non-crazy vegans. That's a really, really good thing. But yeah, these videos do make more money. I'd be lying if I said that this wasn't a pretty important benefit. So yeah, it's hard to trust YouTubers to avoid the temptation of going for quantity over quality, of going for shock and drama, views and money basically over, quality content that's actually effective, at reducing animal suffering. So what can be done? Well, just like individuals can affect industry practices via their purchasing choices, individuals can affect YouTuber practices via their viewing choices. The only reason we exist is because of your support. If a vegan YouTuber says that they are doing it for the animals, take them at their word and hold them accountable. If their actions don't line up with what the evidence has shown to be effective for the animals, then stop supporting them. Stop giving them ad revenue. Stop buying their merch. Stop supporting them on Patreon. Especially if that Patreon money is being used to buy helmets and bike brakes. You can't make that up. Pretty amazing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down below. If you want to subscribe. And that is it. Thank you again, and I will have a new video, I don't know, someday. I'm not gonna say soon anymore, because every time baths and sleep. This is the problem. I'm taking too many baths and I'm sleeping too much.